Do you think these cars were created by humans or by AI? In the previous video, we witnessed how supercars and fashion quietly shape presence on Monaco's streets after dark. Tonight, we go deeper from elegant arrivals to private moments where style continues beyond the road. Do you imagine their entrance unfolding exactly like this image? Comment yes if you think it does. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next chapter in Monaco's silent language of power. Are these prototypes or secrets never revealed? Before the night truly begins in Monaco, there is always a moment of quiet preparation, not inside the clubs, not on the yachts, but right here at the curb where headlights soften and engines lower their voice. In Monaco, arrival is never accidental. A Rolls-Royce Spectre glides in without urgency. A Bentley Flying Spur settles into place as if it had been expected. Nothing announces wealth. Everything suggests permission. The car does not rush forward. It pauses just long enough for the environment to adjust. Streetlights reflect off polished paint. Doors open slowly. Fashion steps out, already framed, already complete. This is not about showing the car. It's about using the car to shape perception. The vehicle becomes a silent signal, preparing the space for what follows. Before a single word is spoken, the message has already landed: this presence belongs here. To outsiders, it looks effortless. To those who understand Monaco, it is precise choreography. And once the arrival has done its work, once the street, the light, and the silence are aligned, the night is finally allowed to continue. Because what happens next is not louder, it's deeper. The most revealing detail in Monaco is never the outfit itself, it's how the outfit moves. Here, fashion is chosen with motion in mind. A silk dress is cut to glide, not to stop traffic. A tailored jacket is shaped to hold its form while stepping out of a Ferrari Roma or an Aston Martin DB12. Nothing clings. Nothing fights gravity. Everything flows. These looks are not designed for photographs. They're designed for transitions from street to sidewalk, from car to entrance, from light to shadow. Every movement is smooth, uninterrupted, intentional. The car plays its role quietly. Doors open wide, but never abruptly. Seats sit low enough to protect posture. Even the pace of the arrival is adjusted, so fabric settles naturally without correction. In Monaco, elegance is measured by how little needs to be fixed. No tugging, no adjusting, no second attempt. Fashion that requires attention breaks the illusion. Fashion that moves correctly completes it. And once the outfit has passed its first test, once it has proven it can move as confidently as it stands, the environment begins to change. Because the next layer of this night isn't about movement anymore. It's about harmony. In Monaco, color speaks before sound ever does, and it speaks with restraint. Here, nothing is random. A Porsche 911 in graphite gray arrives beside a midnight blue gown. A Bentley Continental GT in deep black mirrors, a tailored silhouette trimmed in silver. The harmony is immediate and unmistakable. This isn't about standing out. It's about aligning. Color is treated like a quiet code shared between the car and the wardrobe. Muted tones dominate the night: champagne, smoke gray, obsidian, deep navy. These shades don't chase attention, they control it. They absorb light instead of reflecting it, allowing presence to feel calm, deliberate, finished. Bright colors exist, but they're rare. Reserved for daylight. Reserved for occasions where subtlety would be misunderstood. At night, discipline takes over. The car becomes an extension of the outfit. The outfit becomes an extension of the environment. Nothing interrupts the visual flow. This is why Monaco never feels chaotic, even when it's crowded. The palette keeps everything in balance. And once color has aligned, once the visual language is set, the night begins to shift again. Because what comes next isn't about how things look anymore. It's about where they lead. Comment discipline if you notice the colors before the cars.
Oh, Madeleine.
How are you?
Some nights in Monaco don't end at the curb. They drift toward the water. After the cars have done their work, after the arrival has been registered and the silence has settled, attention quietly shifts from streetlights to reflections. The road hands the story to the harbor. A Rolls-Royce Spectre pauses near the marina. Engines fall silent. Footsteps soften, and suddenly the night feels wider. Here, fashion adjusts without announcing the change. Heels become lighter. Silhouettes loosen. Jewelry reflects moonlight instead of flash. What worked under city lamps now moves with the breeze. On deck, conversation stays low. Music never competes with the water. The yacht doesn't perform, it hosts. Everything feels suspended, as if the night itself has slowed its pace. This is not a party meant to be documented. It's a continuation of presence carried from leather seats to teak decks. No entrances, no exits, only transition. And when the harbor lights stretch across the water, something becomes clear. The most exclusive spaces in Monaco don't elevate volume, they reduce it. Because from here, the night no longer moves forward. It unfolds. The most powerful sound in Monaco is often the one you barely hear. A Lamborghini Urus pulls away without urgency. A Bugatti Chiron idles smoothly, its potential intentionally restrained. Even a Porsche 911 leaves the curb without drawing attention to itself. Here, noise is optional. Control is not. These cars are engineered for extremes, yet in Monaco they operate below their limits. Acceleration is measured. Throttle is softened. Power stays reserved like a tailored jacket left unbuttoned. This restraint is deliberate. Anyone can be loud. Only confidence stays quiet. The absence of drama becomes the message. Valets don't look up. Security doesn't pause. Movement continues uninterrupted. In a city where excess is common, restraint becomes the rarest luxury of all. And once power has proven it doesn't need to perform, the focus begins to shift again. Because the final impression of the night is never made while arriving. It's made while leaving.
Ciao!
The most recognizable signature in Monaco isn't a logo. It's repetition done with intention. Here, style doesn't rotate every weekend. The same woman arrives in the same Bentley Continental GT month after month. Another is always seen in a Ferrari. Roma, never louder, never different. This isn't habit, it's authorship. Consistency turns choice into identity. When a car, a silhouette, and a color palette remain unchanged, they stop being noticed and start being recognized. No explanations are required. The message has already been delivered in previous nights. In Monaco, changing too often signals uncertainty. Stability suggests control. Fashion follows the same rule. The cut evolves slightly. The fabric improves. But the essence stays intact. This is how presence becomes permanent. Not through novelty, but through familiarity earned over time. People don't ask who she is. They already know because they've seen the pattern before. And once identity is fully established, the night reaches its final movement. Because when nothing needs to be introduced anymore, the only thing left to do is depart. The most elegant moment in Monaco is never the arrival. It's the departure. Arrivals are expected. They're designed to be seen. But leaving reveals everything. As conversations soften and the harbor lights dim, the city exhales. Cars return without instruction, waiting exactly where they should. A Bentley rests at the curb engine, calm presence unchanged. A Ferrari Roma catches the final reflections of the evening across its glass, holding on to light just a moment longer. Nothing rushes. Nothing calls for attention. Fashion settles back into leather seats the way it was always intended to. Fabric loosens unforced, Posture remains composed, untouched by fatigue. There's no adjustment, no second look, because everything was aligned from the beginning. The car pulls away slowly, allowing memory to outpace sound. This is deliberate. A dramatic exit would fracture the balance. Excessive speed would suggest urgency, and urgency has no place here. In Monaco, leaving is the final expression of control. It confirms that presence has already been registered. No reinforcement is necessary. The street returns to normal. The night resumes its rhythm. But something lingers, not noise, not spectacle. Just the quiet certainty that presence was felt and remembered. As the night in Monaco fades, what remains isn't speed noise or spectacle, but balance. Cars, fashion movement, and silence all work together to create a presence that never needs to explain itself. So here's the question: is true luxury about what you show, or what you choose to hold back? If this perspective resonated with you, tap like, comment, elegance to share your view and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of The Silent Lion. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.